Welcome to Get Tech. My name's Elizabeth, and we're back in action. The studio might look a little different from previous episodes. We've moved production home so we can continue to safely make these videos for you. You're welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Node-RED. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Node-RED, it's a browser-based programming tool that uses predefined code blocks to accomplish tasks. It has nodes, which is the predefined code block, and flows, which is a connection of nodes, to connect to APIs, devices, and hardware. You can run it locally on your computer, on a device like a Raspberry Pi, or even in the cloud. Node-RED has an entire library of nodes, flows, and collections, so you can probably already find what you're looking to do. And if it's not created yet, you can create it yourself. There's an infinite amount of things that you can do with Node-RED. Today I'm going to walk through 3 different input nodes, how they work, and how you can use them to send data to a data visualization platform, like Initial State. First things first, we have to get Node-RED up and running. As I said previously, you can have it running locally on your computer, on a device like a Raspberry Pi, or in the cloud. I'm going to show you how to run it locally on your computer. Open your command prompt and type in the following: sudo npm install -g --unsafe -perm node-red. This will begin the installation process. You'll know it was successful once it finishes and you see a message that says plus node-red at 1.1.2. Once it's installed, type the command node-red into the terminal to start Node-RED. You can use Control-C or close the terminal anytime if you want to close it out. So once you have it up and running, you'll see a message that says, server now running at, with an HTTP link. Copy that link into your web browser and it'll open the Node-RED editor. In your editor, you should see a blank screen in the middle, node options on the left, and information about your flows and nodes on the right. Let's start with our first input being values and strings. What I want you to do is pull 2 inject nodes into your editor workspace. If you double click on one of the nodes, it will open the node editor on the right. There are lots of things you can do with this type of node, but let's first try sending a number. After the message.payload equals, use the drop-down to select number and enter any number in the box. The message.topic will be the data stream name, so let's name this number. At the bottom, select the box for inject once after 0.1 seconds, then repeat interval every second. Click done. Now you've created your first input node. For the second node, double click to open the node editor. For this one, after the message.payload equals, use the drop-down to select string and enter any word in the box. The message.topic will be the data stream name, so let's name this one word. Again, select the box for inject after 0.1 seconds, then repeat interval every second. Click done. Now you've created your second input node. Now that we have input nodes, what do we do with them? I'm going to recommend we send our data to a data visualization platform, like Initial State. Initial State is a time series data visualization tool that will ingest your data and allow you to create visualizations out of it. It has a 14-day free trial, and Students has a free tier if you have an active EDU email address, and individual accounts are $9.99 per month. If you have another tool you want to use, by all means, do that. We're just going to show you how it works with Initial State, and you can implement that into any data visualization tool that you want. There's actually an Initial State node that was created a few years ago by Tom Gittin. It allows data to easily be streamed from Node-RED to a data bucket. To add the Initial State node to your workspace, go to the drop-down on the top right, go to Manage Palette. On the Palettes and Install tabs, search for Initial State and click Install once you find it. This will add the Initial State node to your palette. Drag and drop an Initial State node onto your workspace. All you need to do to configure the Initial State node is to enter an access key and a bucket key. Your access key can be found on your Initial State account under My Settings. Your bucket key can be any word or number you want it to be. Once you have that configured, connect the input nodes to the Initial State node and click Deploy on the top right. Once your flow is deployed, a data bucket will be created in initial state, and you will see the value and string both appear in your dashboard. Now that we have that working, let's try another input node. This time we'll do weather. Go to Manage Palette and add the Open Weather Map node. You'll need to go to the Open Weather API website and create a free account. Once you do this, you'll have an API key that you can use in the node to send weather data. So, drag and drop the Open Weather Map in node. This one will update whenever something in the weather forecast changes. Open the node editor, add your API key, change the location to coordinates, add the longitude and latitude for the location that you want to monitor. Once that is complete, connect a debug node to this node and deploy. Now you can see the message payload in the debug screen on the right. We'll need to add a change node to modify the payload before sending it to initial state. Drag and drop a change node into your workspace. Open the node editor. We're going to change the payload so that only a single value is sent out. First, let's set the message payload to an expression that is payload.tempc. This will change the message payload to be only the temperature in Celsius. Add another rule to set the message topic to a string called temperature. This will set the signal name to temperature and the signal value is tempc. Click Done. Connect the Open Weather node to the change node and the change node to the initial state node. Deploy and check your dashboard. You should see temperature data now. Okay, last example. Now we're going to try an HTTP request. With the infinite number of APIs online, this can be a really useful one. For this one, you'll need an inject node, an HTTP response node, and a change node. Open the HTTP response node. What we're going to use is a GET method. Set the URL to api.chucknorris.io/jokes/random. I know it's cheesy, but it's easy. Last, set the return to parse JSON object and click Done. Connect the timestamp node to the HTTP response node. Make sure that you have the timestamp set up to send immediately and then send on intervals after. Connect the HTTP response to the debug and deploy so we can see the output. What we want is the value with the joke in it. Open the change node editor. We're going to change the payload so that only a single value is sent out. First, let's set the message payload to an expression that is payload.value. This will change the message payload to be only the joke. Add another rule to set the message topic to a string called Chuck Norris. This will set the signal name to Chuck Norris and the signal value as the joke. Click Done. Connect the change node to the initial state node and click Deploy. You should see the joke show up in your dashboard. While this joke isn't necessarily useful, the HTTP response node really is. From here, you can do lots of things with your view of the data. You can change tile types to be line graphs, summaries, bar graphs, and more. You can add background images to your dashboard, and you can set alerts on any of your data streams to be notified via email or SMS. Now you know the basic skills to get started with Node-RED. Node-RED has an endless library of nodes and flows to do anything you could want to do. And if what you want to do isn't there, you can create it yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Share your Node-RED projects with us via Twitter. And until next time, stay safe, but also stay 6 feet away from me. Sit. Good boy.